ahead and get started tonight. Good evening, everyone. That's my welcome tonight. Good evening, everyone. So hi. First question, does anyone have any changes for the agenda? Agenda okay as is? Okay. That works for me. Thank you. Okay, communication from the public on non-agenda items. Andy, that would be you.
Okay, report on the library, the new library. There was a meeting held on January the 26th from 4 to 5. They're going to do an RFP probably in the next couple of months or so, probably in the summer. They're going to start construction hopefully in 2024, and they should finish construction in 2026. Only problem is they're out of budget. They need $10 million more. So they're going to try to get a federal grant to see if they can get the extra 10 million. So they're going to go after some federal funding. Right now, they're going to, I think they're a little bit ahead of schedule. We're trying to get a date for opening. I think what we need to do is get a ribbon cutting first and then plan for the time that they're going to have the grand opening. And it just, but I went ahead and went ahead and emailed them back to, and they want to know who they should invite. Dignitaries.
Okay. Wow, thanks. $10 million short. That's sort of concerning because I thought the library was paid for.
I thought so too. The only thing is, I think everything's going up, so it's going to be a $30 million
library, not 20.
I wish they'd hurry up and start construction because it's going to go up another 10 million by the time they start in next year.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know who the, I wasn't informed of who the contractor or the architect will be. We'll probably find that out the next meeting, and when that is, I do not know.
Okay. Maybe next meeting we'll have some more information.
I'll have more.
Okay, thank you. Lorna, did you have a public comment, or did you have a comment for Andy before I ask Becky?
You know, I was going to ask Andrew a question, but I can do it. I'll just do it in the chat offline. Thank you.
That'd be great. Thank you. Becky Rapp. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Becky Rapp, and I'm a parent, and I wanted to make a comment tonight regarding homelessness. One of the leading causes of homelessness is drug addiction, leading to mental health crisis. And according to San Diego County Drug Treatment Services, marijuana is the primary substance used by youth 12 to 17 in treatment programs. And I bring this to your attention as the normalization of marijuana continues to grow in our communities, particularly with the messaging on billboards, such as Get Lit. I'm sure you've all seen on the freeways, sending a message to our young people that it's safe to smoke marijuana. As a planning group, you have the ability to advocate for this community when it comes to land use policies. And at a recent Land Use and Housing Committee meeting, priorities were discussed, and some were concerning. Particularly, Councilmember Whitburn prioritized amending the municipal code to weaken protections put in place to protect young people, allowing marijuana businesses the ability to infiltrate even more into our communities, removing sensitive use barriers. I ask you to just take this into consideration, speak to the council representatives, urging them to uphold the municipal code, protecting our kids, and recognizing the root causes of what puts them on the streets. And that is normalization of drug use. And I thank you for the time to speak. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Becky. Appreciate that. Okay, any other comments on non-agenda items? And there's Bruce again. No? Okay, moving on to representative reports. And first up is someone new to us, Sam Gonzalez. He's from Assembly Member Akila Weber's office. I just met Sam last night. Good evening again, Sam.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Yes, my name is Sam Gonzalez. I'm a new field rep for Assembly Member Dr. Akila Weber. Just a brief introduction. I previously worked for David Alvarez and Congressman Juan Vargas. I do have a report, although as I'm learning more and more about community, planning groups and stuff like that, I see that some of it is irrelevant to the current meeting, but I'll go ahead and share it anyways, just in case anyone has questions. I'll also post it in the chat once I'm done talking. So if anyone didn't hear or needs to see it, it'll be there. So just to start off, there's a reminder about, we want to share a reminder about Community Recognitions Program. This month, we're accepting nominations for Women of Distinctions until March 1st. So if you have someone in mind you want to recognize, go ahead and head to our website. I'll drop a link down below as well. Secondly, there's a senior focused event in May, perfect attendance in June, and more events along the year I'll be sharing at these meetings. And there's a list of some bills that we've introduced so far in the Assembly. The final date to submit bills is this, I believe Friday. Yes, this Friday, the 17th. So we don't have an exhaustive list or complete yet, but I'll go ahead and share a few. So AB 79, use of forced robots, AB 82, diet pills, AB 85, SDOH screenings, AB 268, saving lives in jail, AB 317, pharmacist direct billing, AB 409, firefighter voluntary disclosure, AB 576, abortion pill 70 to 77 days, AB 611, special education non-public schools change certification status, parental notification. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'll drop my contact info down below, and feel free to follow us on social media as well. Thank you.
Hey, Sam, could you drop those bills in the chat as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna,
So that I could look them up. Thanks.
everything I spoke, I'll put in the chat, so.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Sam? Great, thanks. It's been it's nice to have someone from Dr. Weber's office again. Thank you. Mr. Hoskins, Officer Hoskins, you're up.
Hello, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. I will be very brief. I was talking earlier. I think that my role here is best to sit and listen. I'm seeing how I can best help and support the community, depending upon what they want to accomplish. So I will answer questions if you have something specific. If not, I will humbly bow out and just listen and provide input when I'm asked to. Thank
Okay.
you, Ms. Lynn.
Thanks, Terry. Anyone have any questions for Terry?
Daryl does.
Daryl does?
Daryl.
Okay.
Do you have a new captain at your precinct, or is it Skyline's precinct?
It is not ours. It is Sky. It is the one in Southeastern.
Okay.
Okay.
We don't want to get rid of ours. We love ours.
Well, promotions and money is why they leave.
They do. This is true.
Anyone?
Sometimes.
Okay, thanks, Terry. Bruce, can you hear us? Are you able to? I'm not sure, Bruce. Bruce, if you can hear me, can you hear us? No? Okay. I'll circle back around. Jawad?
Hey, Lynn, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think everybody can hear okay, right? I think
Okay.
Bruce said he's having some kind of an audio issue. So we'll circle back around in a minute and see if you can hear.
Perfect. Thank you. Sorry you can't all see me. I'm trying to do this in between meetings, but it's really good to be here with you all again. Thanks, Lynn. Jawad with Congresswoman Sarah Jacobs' office. Just a brief update about what the Congresswoman has been up to recently. We just had the State of the Union address, and the Congresswoman was honored to have Angela Joseph as her. She's a proud Lemon Grove resident as her guest at the State of the Union. Angela's dedicated her whole life to encouraging Black women to pursue careers in public service and expanding access to healthcare and green technology. And she represents the best of San Diego, so she was really glad she was able to join. The vice presidents, so the First Lady visited San Diego this past week. Congresswoman Jacobs welcomed her. She was glad to be able to celebrate our progress in expanding access to healthcare and supporting our military service members, veterans, and their families. And she's really looking forward to continuing to work with the First Lady on that effort. She was honored to be appointed as a ranking member of the House Foreign Affairs Subcommittee on Africa during the 118th Congress. So she's on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, and for her to be the ranking member of a subcommittee, especially a longstanding committee like the House Foreign Affairs Committee, is really a great honor. And she has a lot of international aid experience to help her on that end. And I give you updates about her efforts to expand affordable and increase access to childcare in San Diego. She is proud to be a leader in fighting to change this. So she introduced a bill recently called the Child Care for Every Community Act with Senator Elizabeth Warren and Congresswoman Mickey Sherrill. So this legislation would ensure that every family has access to high quality, affordable childcare and early learning opportunities by establishing a network of federally supported, locally run childcare options across the country. And a couple of other things. Another bill that I wanted to highlight is the Return to Home to Housing Act that she introduced. It's a bipartisan bill to provide veterans with safe transitional housing as we continue to push for housing that's permanent, safe, and affordable. So what this bill would do is basically just get more resources to the organizations that are out there already helping our veterans get off the streets, so that we can help more of them. And then I just want to remind everybody, as usual, we're always here to help. If you have any issues with federal agencies, the Small Business Administration, immigration issues, Social Security, and Medicare. And I want to flag a program that I like to remind everybody every couple of months about this. During the pandemic, the American Rescue Plan, we had a program called the Broadband Benefit Program. What it did was basically provide around $50 of credit every month towards an individual's internet bill. So that program transitioned into the broadband connectivity program. I want to say the exact name. And essentially it's around $30 now, permanent reduction on your internet bill. And the categories for being eligible are really, really wide. So really it could be, you could lose a job, you could be on, Social Security, you could be on all sorts of things and you could be eligible for it. So, and only one person in your household has to be on any of those things for that to happen. So I'll put some information in the chat on that, and glad to take any questions if anyone has any.
Thank you, Jawad.
Thank you.
Any questions for Jawad? No, going once, going twice. No questions, okay. Looks like we lost Bruce. I know he was having audio problems and looks like he dropped off. I don't see him on here. So I did send out email from both Lucero and Naveed. They both emailed just before the meeting to say they couldn't make it and sent their reports. So I did send those out to everyone. You should have those. But, oh, here's Bruce. Let's try one more time. Let's see. One last time if that works. Hi, Bruce. Can you hear us? Still can't hear? Okay. Sorry, Bruce. If you can hear us, I'm sorry. We can't hear you, so feel free to email it in. Laura, your hand's up.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I was thinking that maybe Bruce can get on by phone.
Sure. I don't know if he can or not.
If somebody could put it in the chat room, could he see it, even if he can't hear?
Yeah.
That's just a thought. Since he's having, it sounds like audio problems.
It
Anyway,
is.
that's it.
Okay, thanks, Laura. Could someone wants to drop that in. Bruce, if you can hear us, you could try dialing in. The information's on the agenda. Otherwise, we'll just go ahead and move on. And if you're able to come back, we'll put you in, okay? Thank you. Sorry about that. I think that's it for reports. No one else is here tonight. So we're on to action items for the night, and hopefully they should be fairly brief. The first one is at the last meeting, we agreed we need a vice chair. So the floor is open. If anyone would like to step up and volunteer, please. Feel free to nominate someone. Bob, you're muted, Bob.
Yeah, I'll step up and be vice chair.
Thank you. Anyone else want to consider it? If not, can someone make a motion?
I move.
Except Bob for vice president.
Vice Chair, thank you. I need a
This is-
second.
Second.
I'm sorry, who was the second? Was that Andy? Or-
Yes,
Okay, thank you. Okay. I'm gonna go through the roll real quick. So the motion is for Bob to step up. Bob's going to be vice chair. Richard, yes or no?
Yes.
Daryl,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
Andy.
yes.
Okay. Bob, voting for yourself?
Am I allowed to?
I think so. Sure.
Okay, yes.
Thank you. Danielle,
Yes.
thank you. Jennifer,
Yes.
Kristen,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Lorna,
Yes.
Tanner.
Yes.
Thank you. Unanimous. We all like you, Bob. Thank you.
Well, I'm honored and I'm glad to be able to help you out, Lynn.
Thank you, Bob. It's really appreciated.
We all voted for you, Bob.
Thanks, guys. You have a lot of confidence in me.
So I have on here is the second action item. We need a CPC representative. I have a meeting conflict the same night as CPC meetings. And I don't want to have to give that up. But I would like to see if someone else would volunteer to go to the meetings. And if not, maybe to attend half the meetings, and I'll toggle between meetings. Laura?
I'll be the CPC representative. I attend meetings pretty often anyway, so I could do that.
That would be great. And if you find that you can't, you could email Bob and myself, and one of us could cover.
Yeah, that's right.
But
Okay,
yeah,
that would be good.
that would be great. Thank you very much. I assume we're going to be voting on this, right? Okay. So does someone want to make a motion?
So
Make a
moved.
motion to have
Thank
Laura
you.
second.
Thank you. And
Who made a motion? Who seconded it?
Alex made the motion.
Danielle
Danielle
seconded.
Danielle
All right,
seconded.
thank you.
Got it? Okay, thanks, Richard. Okay, Richard,
Yes.
Daryl,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes,
Bob,
Yes,
Danielle,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Kristen,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Lorna,
Yes.
Tanner.
Yes.
Thank you. Unanimous. It's getting pretty easy, folks. Okay, so We are also planning on having, we're going to try and get back on track with the election of board officers. So we would be shooting for April election. So I need a couple of volunteers to step up and run a election committee. I think it'll be pretty easy. Pretty easy, really easy, super easy. Laura?
Are we gonna have like March elections for the board in general, then followed by the officer elections in April? Is that
No,
what we're doing?
I think, no, this would be just to elect a board for a one-year term and get back on track that way. Our next election would be in September. And I think the plan would be the people who, because that's 2 years ago in September, half of us. So that would be about a 1.5-year term. Instead of being a full 2-year term from September, we would roll forward to the following March. So a 1.5 years. And that where I think that'll get us back on track again. We have a year, sort of to get everything into place for planning groups. And I don't know, speak up if anyone has other thoughts about it, but that seemed maybe to make the most sense instead of stopping now. But whatever people think, let's talk about it. Bob, did you have a comment or?
No, I don't have a comment. I mean, I think it would be with the whole pandemic business, it'd be good so that everybody knew how much time they had left in their term.
Yeah.
Because I thought that I had one more year as of March, but I don't remember now.
Yeah, no, you do, and I could bring that I can email it out actually.
Yeah,
I'll have to pull
I think
it up,
that's
but
great.
I think you were in the election from June.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Lorna?
I just we need to make sure we're following our bylaws, as long as we're not violating our bylaws by not having an election this year. And I actually thought my term was up and I wasn't 100% sure I was going to rerun again, so.
I think, again, I have to look. People want to wait just a second.
Lorna, this is Danielle.
I
I don't
Yes.
think we're postponing. We're not having elections this year. We're
Yeah,
just having them a little later because of issues we had for the couple years of pandemic. So I think what Lynn is trying to do is get us back up to the March and April timeframe for elections, but if we
exactly.
delay it a few months into the September timeframe, we're still having elections this year.
Yeah, no, I think
Yes.
that's just why I'm confused. I don't understand how delaying it until September gets us back up to the March, April timeframe.
Well, because we don't really have to be there yet, Lorna. I'm trying to let people serve their first, their 2-year term.
Okay,
and
I
then
get it.
Yeah, so in September, we would have election. You are actually, your term is up in 2021, as is mine, Richard, Kristen, and Alita, I think. So in 2021, September, we'd run.
2023.
Oh, it's 20, yeah, sorry, but yeah,
Okay,
so
okay.
2021 to 2023. So in September, we'll vote, but this term would be from September 23 until March 25.
Mm.
Oh, I
So
see. Okay,
roughly
I
about
get
a
it.
1.5 years for the second term, but then we'll be back on track.
I
The
get it.
people who ran in June will circle that around to next year. So their term will be a little bit shorter than 2 years too. And that way everybody's back on track by next March.
Okay, thanks, Lynn. Sorry for needing
No, it's
the
a
steps.
good question. Yeah. So you still have a few months to think about whether you want to do it again then, Lorna.
Hmm.
Okay. And Andy.
Yeah, is there anyone that has expired the 8 years and wish to go 10, or has somebody been on the board for 10 years, so they have to because of term limits?
Well, Mario termed out. And that's it, I think.
So Lynn, were you just planning to let us all know how much longer our terms are for every single one of us?
Did everyone? Yes, sure,
Okay, that would be great if you could email that out to us.
sure. Or I can just tell you tonight,
Yeah, if our
September
meeting
would
is short
be,
enough.
yeah, I'll just email it, it's faster, okay?
Thanks, Lynn. And
We
my
just-
comments just only had to do with how absolute busy I am right now. By the fall, it's all, what I'm doing now is almost gonna be over, so it'll be okay.
Okay, good, all right, we still have a few months to think about it. Andy, did you have any other questions?
No,
Okay,
got to put the hand down.
the hand down, I can put your hand down for you if you like. There we go, thanks. Okay, so still looking for someone to volunteer to take care of the board officers election for April. No hands?
I have a question.
Sure.
If we are up for reelection, can we be part of that committee
Oh, well, this is just for board officers.
or for board officers rather? Does it
Yeah.
matter if we're up?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, you won't be, because we aren't electing any board members. We're just electing officers in April for a one-year term. So anyone.
I will volunteer.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right, I could meet with you and give you some material from, oh, and Jennifer,
Yes.
thank you. All right, thank you, guys. I think it'll be easy. You're just gonna poll board members and we're gonna fill some spots if we need to next month. We can do that. So we'll vote in April for a one-year term and we'll be back on track. Thank you both. That was easy, sort of. Okay, thank you. So on to the last action item, and I'm going to say right away, please don't shoot the messenger. I talked with, I sent an email to the chair of the CPC who said that this can be our last in Zoom meeting, that we really have to resume in-person meetings starting next month. Ooh, yes. So we would be meeting at Teen Challenge where we met before. We'll be set up for hybrid meetings. I'll ask them about socially distancing for everyone who needs to. If you're sick, can't come to a meeting because of a work schedule, something like that, feel free to dial in that night. But as a general rule, we probably have to be meeting in person unless some magical person in the assembly would decide that the Browns Act could be adjusted a little bit to accomplish, accommodate Zoom meetings.
Lynn, this is Jawad. I heard in another community meeting that requirement may only, like, for example, if the whole board met and then they virtually broadcast, so that the in-person requirement is necessary, maybe necessarily only for the planning group members and not necessarily attendees. I don't know if you've looked into that.
No, that's actually the way we would be setting up, Jawad, is we'll do hybrid meetings, and that way anyone who wants to attend the meeting can just dial in. We'll still offer a Zoom, but board members are expected to be there in person. So
thank you.
Yeah, sorry. iPhone, I'm not sure who that is, but I see your hand is up.
Hi, yes, sorry, this is Becky Rapp. I just wanted to ask, does that, because the city council, they still do the hybrid, and like hearing officer, they don't even allow for anyone to come in person besides the staff member and the hearing officer. So I just am curious as to how they are getting around that when they won't even allow any community members to participate, but they're requiring CPC to go in person. Anyway, it's just something that's on my mind. It's
Yeah,
a question.
I watched part of the city council meeting today, and I saw that Jen Campbell is still out of office. So they accommodate city council members who can't attend in person. But I think if you're well, you're expected to, because they are ending the state of emergency in the state at the end of this month. So I would prefer to stay on Zoom, but it's not an option. So Tanner.
Yeah, I probably won't last long on the group. Then I turned around so you could see the room I'm broadcasting from over here. The being with toddler and full-time job, I don't know that I would be able to make in person routinely. Just saying out. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tanner. Jennifer.
Great. Hi. So yes, regarding the same situation at the college that I work at for Academic Senate, we will be required to go back to campus. And if you cannot be in person, you have only 3 times per year that you can Zoom in, and you have to send in the reason and get approval, and your address from where you're Zooming has to be on the agenda. So just an interesting
That's a little harsh.
component, but it has to do with the Brown Act. So
Yes,
I mean,
it does.
we all have to review that, I guess. So just an FYI.
Yeah, thanks. So that's where we're at. So next month, we will be meeting at Team Challenge. Richard and I were there last month. We met with Orlando and his IT person. They're already set up for us. And I have some equipment that I bring. I have a conference speaker phone that I use and a separate webcam that helps a little bit. So I will see how it goes. Sorry, folks. Any other questions, comments about it? Okay.
It's okay. It'll be good to see y'all in person.
Yes, it will. Kind of. Joking.
Lynn, I have one question or one suggestion is that
Sure.
we meet again with Teen Challenge and ask them how they would socially distance the board. Because I mean, putting a row of chairs in the front and a row of chairs behind them is not socially distancing. And there's plenty of space to like stagger the chairs, you know? So I know, I'm just suggesting that maybe it might be good to touch base with them again and kind of see what they think is social distancing. The room is big enough for sure.
It is. It'll be hard to broadcast though there if we spread out too much, Richard. That's the only issue.
Yeah, we can talk about that. I mean, maybe we're talking more about doing like a vertical instead of horizontally spraying out vertically, so that we'll still be on camera. I don't know. I mean, that's just my suggestion.
Well, for those who are going to find it a little bit of a time challenge, and I understand Tanner's point too, let's make it a goal to strive for efficient meetings that don't go on too late. We don't need 2-hour meetings if we can avoid it. So let's try and be efficient so we can get home early and we don't lose board members because of that. Okay. That's where we're at, folks. I guess we're on to the treasurer's report, Daryl. Anything new? Oh, 1 second, I'm sorry. Andy, did you have a question?
Yeah, I attend a lot of meetings uh, with religious as well as civic groups for a long, long time, for the last couple of years, with no distancing or anything. And I've not been informed of anyone, catching COVID or anything. So we don't need to be, the social distancing. Because I haven't experienced anyone getting because they got too close.
Yeah, I got to step in there. You got to have the social distancing.
Yeah.
It's medical. And it can be done. It can be done. Just, be a little creative in how you configure the seats.
Yeah.
The organizations, the community councils, Richard, are you going to be having meetings in person, or are you going to do yours on Zoom?
We're looking at hybrid meetings, and one reason for the hybrid meetings is that we found that we think we get more participation from people if they have the ability to Zoom in, particularly for the people that come home late from work or the people in the community that have kids. And so that's what we're looking for, right now. But if we do it, we definitely are going to social distance and try to configure, the floor so that it is safe. I've been to one where they did a good job of it. They were a little bit tight, but they did a good job of having it all set up, and it's just a matter of spacing out a little bit more. So, that's what we're gonna do. And I don't think the community councils are under the Brown Act, correct?
No.
No, but still, we do see a value of having Zoom for the people that have, other responsibilities.
Yeah, Richard, I'm not familiar with the community councils being under the Brown Act. I just think it's the public sector rather than the private sector.
Okay. Well, Richard, I'll email you, but we can make a time and go see Herlindo again and just see how they would set the room up, make sure everyone would be comfortable with it. Okay.
Okay.
I'll email you about it. Thank you. Okay, now we are moving on to our treasurer's report, Daryl.
As I had promised our last meeting, I would go over to the bank and meet with him. And unfortunately, on the 2 different occasions since the last meeting, she was tied up or wasn't there. So she's apologized profusely, and tomorrow is my meeting day. So I'll make another attempt to get with her and get all of the specifics so that we can close this 1-2-year issue out.
Okay, thank you. And what's our balance again, Daryl?
$75.
Okay.
I can give more because now we're at Team Challenge, and I think that's where the money went to last time.
Yeah, I think we gave them a gift card a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Review, correction, and approval of minutes for January. Those went out on Friday. Is everyone, Bob, your hand?
Oh, yeah, they're just a correction that I noticed. There's the report on the tree program for university, and I wasn't at the last meeting, so I think it's just a carryover.
Okay, for Richard.
Yeah.
Richard, did you get that correction?
Oh, carryover tree meeting?
Yeah, I think it carried over from an earlier version.
Oh, just delete it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, from the Food for Less parking lot, is that it?
Let's see. I saw it. Go down to community council and subcommittee reports.
Okay.
And it's about University Avenue, and it says a site walk is upcoming.
Okay.
And so, I wasn't at the last meeting, so you could just remove that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Richard.
Thanks, Bob.
Uh-huh.
Anyone else have any corrections? Nothing else? Okay, does someone want to make a motion to approve with the correction?
So moved, Daryl.
Thank you,
Second,
Joe.
Danielle.
Thank you, Danielle. Anyone opposed? Thank you. Carries unanimously. All right, minutes are approved. We're on to subcommittee reports.
Lynn,
Yes, sir.
excuse me, I have to abstain because I wasn't there. I vote minutes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Richard. Andy abstains.
Oh, I do too.
Oh, and so does Bob.
Yeah.
But yet you have a correction. Very good job, Bob. Good work. Okay, subcommittee reports. Going to start with El Cerrito. Lorna, Alex, Laura, any updates, any information?
A very nice sort of opening of the new building at Crawford School last week. That was kind of fun. It's very impressive. Laura, Alex, what else we got going on? Crawford High School is actually doing really well in the sports field. Anyone, football, they went to playoffs, basketball team did really well. So they've really done some impressive things.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else from El Cerrito? Otherwise, Alita's not here. Richard, what's new from Oak Park?
Yeah, a late notice about a grant for funds from the state that the city is applying for, funds for to augment their program for illegal dumping. That's through Cal Recycle. And so Oak Park submitted a letter of support for the application for the city. And we hope we get that money. Well, we hope the city gets that money, but it's very sorely needed.
Thanks. Yeah, we also, Rolando Park Community Council also sent a letter of support. Thanks to Linda Pennington for forwarding that on to everyone. Bob, you're the only person here from Rolando Village. Any news?
Yeah, there are a couple of things. Our community improvement team is going to be holding a succulent swap. This will be the 3rd annual. We haven't held it during the pandemic. And it will be held on Saturday, February 25th from 9 to 11, right where you see behind me in the photograph, the area that we call the triangle, close to Rolando Boulevard and El Cajon Boulevard. And then, of course, we're having our 25th annual street fair, and that'll be sometime towards the end of March. If folks go out and look at our website, it'll indicate the date. I don't remember the date offhand. Mario, do you happen to know the date?
I think it's the 19th.
Is
March
it the 19th? Yeah.
And did you say you were cleaning the catwalks on the 25th?
Oh, that'll be, no, on February 25th, we'll be having the succulent swap.
Oh, the succulent swap.
Yeah,
Okay.
folks will bring by cuttings of any kind of plant they have that'll propagate.
Okay.
And our catwalk cleanups will be in April and May, April 15th from 9 to 12. And we'll do the 4 eastern ones and then the 4 western ones the first weekend in May, the first Saturday.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, Bob, according to the website, the street fair is going to be the 19th.
Ah, okay, great.
Thanks.
Yeah, I didn't want to give any misinformation. Thank you, Lorna.
On the succulent exchange, so like I don't live in Rolando, but if I brought a succulent, I could take a succulent?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we usually have more plants than than anybody needs.
Yeah, Bob won't check your
So,
driver's
come on
license.
by and and we may I don't know at this point, but in past we've had council members attend. So Yeah, so there'll be coffee and there'll be some breakfast cakes or muffins and goodies. And it's a great opportunity to meet people in the community.
Oh, how fun. And so that's the 25th. And what time?
Between 9 and 11.
9 and 11. Okay, great.
Yeah. And we've had a great turnout. And so we've decided to, resume after the long hiatus.
Yeah.
Thank you. It sounds like fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. Thanks, Bob.
Mhm.
Jennifer, Tanner dropped off, but anything from Redwood Village?
Yes, thank you. I mentioned last night in the Rolando Park, Redwood Village meeting that I spoke with the city Ranak Rakani, and this will be of interest to Oak Park, Richard, that regarding Streamview Drive. So we had been told that we would hear from the city with revised plans for phase 2 in March, and there's no funding. They did not go after the grant, the Raise California grant. So there's no funding, so there's no revisions, and we're waiting to hear. Landscaping was approved. Monument signs and public art was not approved. So that's where we're at. That's things happening. John Hogan?
Those things might have been approved, but they won't happen unless the money comes. from the
Right,
federal
there's no
government.
funding. Yeah, there's no funding. Seems to be that everything is relying on grants.
From the Fed.
Lorna?
So does this mean that whole plan, and it's been a year, if not 2, maybe longer, that we saw that whole rebuild of Streamview is now off the table?
Yes.
Yes. It's on hold.
Get money.
There's no money. There's no
Oh,
money.
no, it all went to Ash Street.
Yeah.
Never, I'm sorry. I promised to behave tonight.
Mhm. Yeah, well.
That's why you haven't heard anything from Daryl about
Oops.
Oh, good boy.
Thanks, Jennifer.
That's all we have.
Okay, thanks.
But on a positive note, Lynn,
Yes.
we're planning some cleanups this spring, quarterly cleanups around Redwood Village, Rolando Park. So yeah, it's exciting.
Yes. Lots of university cleaning.
Yes, yes.
Thanks.
Of course.
Kristen, Daryl, Webster, anything?
I don't have any announcements. I don't know, Daryl, if you have anything that you want to mention.
We're having a board meeting this Thursday, and this hybrid concept that Eastern area is bringing out, this hybrid, we wanted to try and look into how we could do it. So on our neighborhood signs where you drive in and out of Webster, we have some bait on the board. It says pizza night. So if that gets folks to come out and have a slice of pizza or something, it's going to increase our attendance so that we can do some other things. But that's where we're at in terms of gathering more of our neighbors, because we have, I'd say about 25% of our neighbors are brand new. They've been buying into the properties. And the numbers, they're right around the high 500s, low 600s. And they're buying in, so despite what's happening every place else, we're getting new neighbors. So that's all that I have. Anybody on the board is welcome to come by and sit in and see what's happening. But Lynn, we're going to try to study the model that's going to be used here, such that we do have some up in age neighbors that the weather might not be conducive for them to get out. One, and then two, they don't have computers. So we're trying to figure out a way to get them involved, because normally all of our neighbors are anywhere between the 65 and low 90s, in terms of.
Oh, yeah.
So, and they're very vocal on what they want to see.
Yeah, we need some youngsters on these boards.
Yeah.
Well, if they could afford $625,000,
Yeah.
you get them in your neighborhood.
But renters,
Well, I don't see those.
that's what the city wants.
Yeah, but, and what do you call it? Casita? That's built on the back of the houses.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of-
Or
a lot of
granny
the-
flats.
Yeah, a lot of the lots in Webster has the room. So what you have is Hillcrest and a few other couples that come over and buy, and then they turn around and immediately put that extra room, and then they don't even move in. They're renting.
Yeah.
They're renting at from $1,600 to $2,300 a month, that little room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
That's all that I have.
Thank you, Daryl. From Rolando Park, I just wanted to mention, the reason I asked about your date, Bob, is because Redwood Village and Rolando Park are doing a University Avenue cleanup on February 25th from 8 to 10.
Oh, okay.
So some of us will be meeting up at Harry's, a party house, and working the street for a couple of hours. Cleanup sets, we're planning on doing 4 cleanups this year on University Avenue. And then we're working with Redwood Village with Jennifer to do a few other cleanups within the community. We'll be doing a Xena Canyon cleanup. We're talking about a Stream View cleanup and some other cleanups.
Hey, Lynn, can I interrupt you? There's someone trying to get into the meeting.
I don't see anybody here.
Oh, okay. Let me text her back. She must have done something wrong. Anyway, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry for interrupting.
Oh, there she is, Denise.
Yeah.
Okay. She was on, and did she drop off?
She must have, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if people could send around the dates and stuff if they're cleanup, we'll send them out to the community if you want help. I don't know if anyone will show up. But we've done them, and it's always nice to have extra help. So if you send us your dates, tell Sarita, we can put them out in our newsletter and see if we can get you more warm bodies.
Well, just before the pandemic, we did one with Rolando Village, and we had almost 50 people show up.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
we
that's
did
great.
we did College to Aragon. We don't worry about the Croc Center because their space, their sidewalk is always immaculate. But yeah, we had 50 people.
Yeah, we've had that many people for Clay Park too.
That's great.
So we have quite a few people now that are interested in, trying to make sure that college and university are cleaned up. Laura, did you have a?
What does your cleanup consist of? What do you guys do? So in case we do go ahead and get the word out, what can you let them know to expect?
Well, they should expect coffee because everyone needs caffeine, and lots of donuts because you need lots of sugar. But we meet up. We don't have a lot. We always ask people to bring their own equipment. We provide bags. Basically, we're doing a lot of, we clean out the weeds along the curbs, pick up all the trash, bag everything up. My second car is a truck. We throw everything in the truck and I take it away. But we did 2 cleanups last year on University, and this is the first of 4 on University this year. So it's just, the more people we have, the faster it goes.
Right.
And plus you should pick months that are the in-between months for the street cleaners, because everyone goes, wow, it's so clean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Our cleanups are mostly trimming along the catwalks. We don't really generally have that much trash. And it kind of depends. The Clay Park cleanups we do with Park and Rec, and they'll supply the tools in the case of that cleanup. And we are planning one of those too, sometime towards promotion day in June.
Okay, so maybe we could
Mm.
coordinate something with El Cerrito and Rolando Village and do one. All four communities on University, possibly. Okay. Richard? Question? comment?
Yeah, real quick. I might join you for that University Avenue cleanup. I'm very, yeah, I might do that. Is there any value whatsoever in weighing the trash that you pick up? Because I know that there's another group that picks up trash, Choice Creek, they pick up trash and they weigh it and they announce to Parks and Rec that we have collected, X number of pounds of trash. Is there any value in that, or is this just simply just go out, pick up the trash, clean up, and you leave?
Yeah, we don't do that. I know that there's I Love a Clean San Diego does a fall cleanup in which they count and weigh everything.
Yeah, that's
Last
right.
year, last year they just asked us for our spring cleaning just to provide an estimate of the weight that we turned in, but
I mean, it's really kind of difficult because some things are really unsightly, like, plastic bags or paper, but they don't weigh very much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last year they wanted everyone to count cigarette butts, so that's a good project for the Girl Scouts, the kids that show up.
Yeah.
Cigarette butts.
Yep. Okay, so that's it for community updates. Trees on University, Bob.
Well, I did want to let everyone know, I mean, last October, we met with Naveed Harris, Lynn and myself, John Hogan that's on the call, and Kara West that lives in Rolando Park. We prepared a request, a CIP request that was included in the CIP plan. Or at least we recently found out that that was the case. And we just need to follow up with Naveed is not going to be assisting us with that. It's going to be the new representative, I think, that you've got in Rolando Parkland. What's her name again?
Martha Zapata.
Yeah. So I think unfortunately, I mean, we're going to need to try to continue to move this ball down the court. We'll need to meet with Martha and continually ask Naveed where the city is at with trees for University. So
yeah, I'm concerned that might be a timing issue now because they have a water replacement.
Right, that's right.
Starting at the end of the summer on University. It's going to take 6 months.
Yeah.
And they said after that, then the bikeway project will take care of the resurfacing on University, but somewhere in there, we need to figure out if they're going to be able to sandwich in the trees, I think.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's right.
Is the water department going to come give us a presentation?
They asked, I did try to convince them to come to a community council meeting, but because it involves Rolando Park and Redwood Village, and frankly, anyone who's going to be driving on University starting at the end of the summer, they'll be coming to our meeting in March to talk about it. So we can all find out how miserable University is going to be for about 2 years. So yeah. Thanks. Okay, thanks, Bob. Danielle.
You're welcome.
Parks and Recreation.
Okay, Parks and Rec. I think I have about 4 things. Everybody can hear me, I hope.
Yep.
First of all, Little League, we just had our team announcement day. So we are starting practices at 4 joint use sites in the neighborhood. Hardy, Fay, Mann, and Oak Park. So you'll see Little Leaguers out there practicing when it stops raining. And our opening day is March 11th. So I'm not sure if our meeting's before that or after that. So if you'd like to come out and join us on Saturday, March 11th in the morning. let's see, Kalina will be meeting next month, because remember, Kalina meets every other month. But at the Park and Rec Board meeting coming up this Thursday at 2 p.m., they're going to be hearing the GDP amendment for the Catoctin, Montezuma Park on Catoctin Street, just north of the boulevard there, just north of like where the Rite Aid and the post office and all are, over in that neighborhood. And but they're not going to be at their usual place. They are, all the boards and commissions have to go back to in person also. They're going to be out in the neighborhood at Park de la Cruz, which is on 38th and Landis. So that's this Thursday at 2 p.m. and there will be meeting a little closer to us. So anybody would like to join us there. And for Choyas Lake, with all this rain, we on the Recreation Advisory Group have been concerned about the storm drains and the drainage into the lake. And after a year and a half of waiting to find out when those storm drains are going to be fixed, we find out that the water department, so the stormwater, has decided that it's too big of a project and they have to bundle it all up into a CIP, which just kicks the can down the road.
Yep.
So maybe when I have a little more pull on like getting onto the Park and Rec Board, I have not been notified when that's going to be agendized at City Council. But maybe we can find some way, and I will need EAPC's support at that point, is to not bundle these up, but do them one project, small little project per year, so that we don't have to wait 10 years for money to get this all done. So I will keep everybody posted. It is a very long agenda at the Park and Rec Board meeting. There's like 10 different items. So if anybody wants the Zoom link, just let me know on email and I'll send it over to you.
Okay.
And I think that's it. That's all I have.
Thanks,
Anybody have
Danielle.
questions?
I have questions from Lorna and then Richard.
Hey, Danielle, do you know, is on the Park and Rec Board, is there anything about, on the agenda about the dog park at Clay Park? Remember the
Nope.
community?
No, there's the community has come up with quite a sizable pushback on where it's located. The only scoop that I know is that the city's looking at possibly trying to find a new spot, but we'll find out at Kalina. They're trying to figure out what to do about the dog park issue over at Clay. I know there was large community support for it, and now all of a sudden there's some neighbors that are very concerned. It's possible they'll show up at a community council meeting, Bob. So please share that agenda if it does come on the agenda for Rolando. But nothing at the Park and Rec Board level.
Okay, because they're the next level of approval, right? Since the Kalina.
No, the plan amendment went through 5 years ago.
But we approved it, and then I thought it had one more level of approval.
No, we just approved the money from the settlement to be used for the dog park.
Okay.
That's all we did just recently. We remember when Denise was working on it? That GDP amendment went through a long time ago at the Park and Rec Board.
Okay.
So they're going to have an uphill battle. Who's next? Richard.
Hi, yeah, thanks, Danielle. For Troyes Lake and the stormwater issues and the decision to push it back or, not follow through, basically.
Exactly.
Is that the decision of Parks and Rec or
No,
is it the decision of
stormwater. Mr.
stormwater?
Eddie Salinas, stormwater.
Okay, so
That's why I'm going to
stormwater,
try. Yeah. I'm going to
I
try on
got
the
it, I
Park and
get-
Rec side to have the Park and Rec talk to Mr. Salinas and Stormwater to see if there's any way that we don't, Stormwater is looking at it like, fixing a bunch of drains on a street, or something. Oh, we're just going to bundle it together and do it all at once. Well, they should have been doing it all these years. That's why we're in the condition we're in. And now, this is my opinion, they've just kicked the can down the road so they don't have to follow up on
Danielle,
all
is
those
that-
promises that they gave us a year and a half ago.
Danielle, are you talking about storm water, like cleaning the water? Or are you talking about?
No,
facilities
not
to take the
cleaning.
water away?
No. I'm talking about all
The
well,
storm
first of all,
drains.
Mario, no. When you walk around the lake, notice all of the different corrugated pipes
Right.
with all of the erosion.
Mhm.
If you
Okay.
go from like where the comfort station is in the corner, and you go west, and then you go across the dam, and then you go on the south side closer to the street, you know, from College Grove, and then you go across. They're kind of hidden, but if you notice them, there's like 10 or 8 or 10 of them, and they're all mashed, and there's all, you know, plugged up, and
Right.
there's
Okay.
all this erosion around them because stormwater hasn't been keeping the pipes cleaned
Right.
out, and so they fill with silt, and then the erosion happens around them. So now that we've pointed out that these have been neglected for so long, a year and a half ago, we had this big walk, and all the politicians, reps were there, and stormwater, and lots of people were there. And, oh yeah, we're going to get these all fixed. And the ranger's been trying for years to connect with
Yeah.
them and saying, okay, when are you going to start fixing them? And then finally the answer a year and a half later is, oh, sorry, it's too much of a big project. We got to do a CIP for it.
Yeah. One issue I've had with the city in this department, not there, but other places, is when you say stormwater, that's one thing. Storm drains is another department, and they don't talk to each other. One place they fix pipes, the other place they keep the water clean. And when you say stormwater, Richard, this is his ball of wax. That means cleaning the water up. That's what they've been doing on university with this stupid porous concrete.
Yes.
That's not going to work. But you got a combination of two things there, and you got two departments that need to talk to each other. So that is an issue.
Well, yeah, what I think as the community, when the time comes, I'll ask for EAPC support, because it is a planning. If it's CIP, it's a planning, it's a land use thing, is to
Yeah.
get Park and Rec to start leaning on them to take care of it.
Right.
Because that's the only thing in the park that stormwater has to take care of.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
know, it's
Storm drain.
actually, I think, really important too, Danielle, because I was walking my dog there, not yesterday, but the day before, and that backside, the more natural side, there's still water running through there, and it's not draining, and you're gonna have a huge mosquito problem as soon as it warms up if that water doesn't go away.
Of course, yeah, there's all kinds of issues, but it was just very frustrating after a year and a half,
Yeah.
being very patient. And then all of a sudden, nope, it's, where are they going to get the money? Look at the stormwater budget, how behind they are citywide. They're just running around, taking care of crises instead of being, proactive and maintaining things so that the crises don't happen.
Well, never mind the amount of building they
Yeah.
plan on
And-
doing,
and,
and they
you
just
know,
approved again
sure.
today.
Sure. Yeah. So, with the whole Choice watershed, the regional park and all that stuff, is Park and Rec is going to have to start leaning on stormwater to start cleaning up their act.
Well, the other thing that this brings up, and the whole lack of money, is what's gonna go on with, and I assume the answer is gonna be nothing, but the Park at Choice triangle down there on University?
Yeah.
Yeah, the park at the triangle, that
It'll
GDP
happen
was
someday.
passed. It was passed a couple months ago over at Park and Rec, and that's why we need a voice on the Park and Rec board to say, hey, where's the money coming for our parks here in D9 and D4? I'll help a little D4, a little D3, whatever, whoever needs help. So, who else had a question? Andy.
Yeah, Danielle. Any idea, what about the trees during the recent storm?
Yeah, a
And
few of them came down.
Pardon?
But a few of the eucalyptus did come down during the storm. There was that one very stormy, windy day that they shut down Balboa Park. They also shut down Choice Lake that day, just out of abundance of caution. And the ranger has been very proactive, making sure that tree trimming happens so that horizontal branches aren't crashing down, and the trees are getting trimmed as best as he can keep up with it. The open space ranger. So. There was more
I saw
excitement in
them-
Balboa Park that day,
I saw
actually.
them take down trees, and there was tons of eucalyptus firewood sitting there. I was going, oh man, too bad I don't have a fireplace. It's all cleaned up now though.
Okay,
Yeah, they'll be put to good use, Lorna.
okay, thanks, Danielle.
Anything else? Sure. Okay.
Is that it, everyone? Okay, so just wanted to check with Mario then and see if you have any information on transportation, bike lanes.
Yeah, just real briefly, I don't have too much. I've been waiting to hear back from the people on Sandag and the consultant. They don't like to return too many calls, but what I have found out is it's still proceeding. the part from along Orange Avenue up to was Estrella, I think is the street where it's gonna change.
Estrella? Yeah.
It goes down Orange Avenue, then to Estrella, and then it comes down to University. Well, the Orange Avenue portion should be out for bid late summer, I guess, or later in the year. This one's be behind that. I'm not sure how far behind. The one thing I could tell from the drawing, one drawing I saw was at Choyas Parkway, that left turn lane. They've been talking about closing that off, and that shows the plans closing it off. But you will be able to make a right turn on or off of Choyas Parkway, it looks like. So I don't know if that's good or different to anybody, but that's one thing. I know from my talking to people in the past, the stretch of the bike lanes along cross the street from the shopping center where there's no sidewalk that's the one thing they need in this whole project was a sidewalk there, but that's not what they're going to put in. They're not gonna put a sidewalk in there. That's the most needed thing along the way.
Which shopping center, please?
The big, where the Food for Less is. That's where the street's really wide and all those lanes of traffic and where there's room for a sidewalk. They're
Yeah,
not gonna put a
University
sidewalk.
Square, Mario.
Yeah,
Yes, University Square, correct.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a bus stop over there, and the only way to get to it is you have to be on the south side and walk across to the other side, unless you want to walk in the street. So anyways, that's one thing I thought was going to get taken care of, but apparently not. But it seems to be moving along. The other thing would be, anybody using the transit much, the Pronto card? That seems to be working pretty good. And finally, I think MTS or Sandag or MTS finally has something that's works well as the Pronto card. As you use it, it will give you use it several times in a day. It'll give you the cheapest rate for it. Adds up so far, and then it won't charge anymore. So that works. Let's see what else was happening. That's about it, I guess, for now.
Okay, Mario,
I went to the Midway, the sports arena thing for the development, and every other paragraph talks about it being a transit oriented development, and there's not much transit going in and out of it. So it's kind of funny. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What are you gonna ask?
Oh, I saw John had a question, John Hogan, about the Parkway, Choyas Parkway. So according to the University Bikeway project, they're leaving that open, but as part of the Choyas Triangle Park, that street is supposed to be
Oh yeah,
vacated.
someday it'll be vacated, but for now it should be open. They'll probably only keep one half of the street there, I think. The other half, they'll just probably turn into weeds.
Well, I thought they were going to run Leah Street.
Well, that's what we want to do. That's what the plan is, but since redevelopment went away, they can't put those parcels where the stores are together in one piece. So it's kind of like it'll happen maybe, but we'll have to see. But hopefully it'll happen. Those where those storage bins are, they need to have access to that. So, and access to the park. So you need to have that other than just come in from Leah Street on at 54th Street. And we got to talk to the water department because we hope we don't have that university becomes the next Seminole.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Thanks, Mario. I put the subcommittee for the community plan update on here, but we don't have anything yet. Daryl, Laura, Alex. I did
Well,
have
I have a little bit of news, actually. I was looking.
Could I finish real quick, Laura, and then I'll just say that I talked with David Modi and he would like us to start thinking about meeting maybe in April is all. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I looked at all the schedules for our community plan groups, and it looks like, and also we were talking about or kicking around the idea that the person named Robert Montana, who helps the college area, would be a good person to have sort of head up our subcommittee as well. having gone through everything with the city, he's been through it once. We won't be reinventing the wheel. And he has, I think he has been a planner for the city. And so he knows what they're talking about, what they're going to be pushing for, and how we can protect our communities to the utmost and still somewhat satisfy what they're probably going to be looking for.
Okay.
And I was thinking that the fourth Wednesday of every month would be a good time to meet based on all of our community planning groups, but wanted to run that by everybody. And then also to let everybody know that even though we're going to have a few members from EACPC, we want to get as many community members at large to be part of the subcommittee to get their input. So that's just, and then I was going to talk to Teen Challenge and see if the fourth Wednesday of every month is good for them to let us have the meeting there.
Okay. Fourth Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the day the college area was meeting, so I think it's good for Robert, and it seems to be good for all of our groups. We have groups meeting on the first, I think it's you guys are the first Monday or the second Monday, and Webster and El Cerrito are both the third Thursday, and Rolando is, I think, sometime on the second week. So the fourth week kind of is wide open for all our groups. So
Third Tuesday.
Okay. Third Tuesday.
Yeah, third Tuesday.
Yeah.
There you go. So anyway, I was just kind of thinking that would work good. Oh yeah, and then we have our group meeting on the second week. That's what it was. The EACPC is the second week.
Right.
So those are things that I'm just trying to put all the different little pieces together to come up with a good day, a good person who could potentially kind of be in charge of our subcommittee. And then we all need to get the word out to our communities, because it's not just going to be the few of us on the update committee. It's going to be as many people as possible.
Right.
Anybody have any questions?
Okay. Okay.
Well, and then I was wondering if for the subcommittee members, if the fourth Wednesday this month, which is the 28th, would be good for all of us to get together. No, it's not. Is it the 28th? Shoot, let me check again. It might actually be, yeah, it's actually the 22nd. The 22nd is the fourth Tuesday this month. I mean, the fourth Wednesday this month. And I wanted to know if that would be good for everybody in our groups to sort of get together for that day. And I think, let's see, we have Alex and we have Daryl and we have, I think you, Lynn, right?
Yes, me, because I've been talking with David Modi about how we would be setting this up a little bit as well. Okay.
So if we could all maybe get together on the fourth Wednesday and we can go into more detail and figure things out.
And I think David and Robert know one another, so, you know, the more the merrier that have the experience that we need.
Right, right.
Well, David's chair of the Kensington Talmadge Planning Group, and we're going to be parallel tracking, I think, our plan update also. And David's also been past chair of the CPC, so he has the very broad overview citywide, and any kind of data that you need, he's the man to go to.
Well, and so is Robert, because Robert's had the experience as working for the city, so he knows what they're going to try and push too. Plus, having been through the college plan update, we're all a little bit more familiar with what well, El Cerrito, a lot of members from El Cerrito were paying attention and part of the meetings. And I don't know if the rest of you were, but we're a little bit familiar with how things are going to work too. So it's an uphill battle for us. I think we all know that.
Hey,
So
Laura,
this-
this is Alex. The 22nd, this month is the college area community plan update at 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay. So that's not a good time. Okay. I'll send out an email and we can all, the four of us who are on the subcommittee, can kind of pick a date from that. And then we'll move forward, and then perhaps, just like David was saying, March would be a good month to start.
Yeah.
So we can at least have a brief interim meeting in February. And thanks, Alex. That's good that's a good update.
Thank you, Alex. Okay.
Lynn, has David said anything otherwise about, since you've been in touch with him?
No, he wants to have the 4 chairs in the Mid-City group get together. Himself, Normal Heights, Russ Connolly.
No,
myself,
Russ Connolly is City Heights and Jim
City,
Barros, I think.
yeah, sorry, yeah.
North Normal Heights. So
I-
Jim, Russ, David, and you.
Is that the name I had? No. Paul Coogan from Normal.
Paul is not a chair
He's not
of
the
the.
chair.
No, he's not, but he's
Okay.
very knowledgeable.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, I'm letting David take the lead on
What's that group gonna be doing?
that. Sort of talking a little bit about the direction. I'm working together. Because all that becomes part of the Mid-City plan, right? So wants to make sure everybody's sort of on the same page.
Oh, I think you guys will be.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay, just to close out, we don't have a report on the January CPC meeting because there was no one to attend it. So going forward, then next month, Laura will be attending. And I think that's it, everyone.
A request, Lynn?
Yes.
Danielle, if you do get minutes from the CPC meeting, could you share them with us?
Absolutely, and that's, yeah, one thing I think we should try to get is get the minutes to send out so everyone knows. That would be really, really nice
I'll
to
go
know.
ahead and take care of that because they do post the minutes, so I'll take care of that.
Okay, that would be great, Laura. Thank you.
You bet.
Okay, so and again, thanks everyone for stepping up tonight to fill the slots and get everything situated. Thanks, Kristen, Jennifer, Bob. Thank you, everyone. And Laura, thank you too for stepping up and for the CPC meetings. That's big. Thank you.
Lynn, may I say something, please?
Absolutely.
I would go to reactions, but when I did, I went offline. This is a question for Terry. You know, for me, number one is public safety in our city because they're the backbone of our city. Without it, we have nothing. And tomorrow, they're doing the Protect Act, Public Safety Committee, and they're asking for people's opinions. And here we have a depleted, limited law enforcement, especially services, especially our police department, and their hands are tied. And if this Protect Act goes through, I see it as the criminals win and we don't. So I don't know, Terry, did you mention this at all?
You know, I did not, only because I didn't know if it was appropriate during the Eastern Planning Committee because it didn't really pertain to the planning necessarily. I did send an email out earlier talking about the Protect Act. It's been on the radar for several months. I think the council has, for whatever reason, just been waiting to do it. One of the things that I will say about it is, you know, I want you to be able to read look at both sides of it. I don't want you to just, I'm tired of people just hearing something or reading something and taking it as gospel. So please do your homework, read both sides, see what you think about it. The silliest thing to me pertaining to it is it only affects things inside the city limits. So if Alex is driving a vehicle with the tail light out, I stop him, he's on probation, parole. Part of their status when they get out of prison or jail is they agree that they lose their Fourth Amendment right. Meaning I can search them, law enforcement can search them anytime they come in contact with them. That's what they agreed to. It's a court order agreement. Well, the PROTECT Act will prevent me from doing that. So if that only applies in the city of San Diego, if I'm trying to, or if I'm involved in any type of nefarious activities, and I know that one particular area, I cannot be stopped, I cannot be searched, what is that going to do? My own opinion is going to take people that are maybe doing nefarious activities outside of the city and make them want to do more inside the city. We've got like 1,100 ghost guns the past year and a half or something like that on vehicle stops. Those ghost guns would not have been able to have been discovered. So again, it says the PROTECT Act, and I think it's kind of misleading, as everything else is in politics. When they want different things to be passed, they'll mislabel it so that it'll get passed. But again, this is something that, don't take my word for it. I want you to go ahead and read and pay attention. When Prop 47 got passed, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread." And now Prop 47 has completely ruined a lot of our communities in California. So anyways, I'll get up, but that was the reason why Denise, I did not mention it, because I did send an email out, but I also think it had nothing to do with this particular agenda. And I've been slammed for that in the past, so.
Well, what is all right, thank you, Terry. What is Prop 47?
First, time out a little, please. This is, it is a meeting about a planning group about land use issues. So I appreciate you bringing this up, but I think it would be good to take it back to community councils and bring it up there. We actually did have, if anyone is interested, I have a recording on our Facebook page from Rolando Park, because we did have Jared Wilson from the Police Officers Association and a speaker from the ACLU present both sides of this argument at our community council meeting a few months ago. So I agree that you should hear it, but I think we should take it back to community council groups, community groups to have the discussion.
Right. Thank you, Lynn. The only reason why I brought it up, because it's being brought up tomorrow at the Public Safety Committee.
I agree. And Terry did send out information to everyone. So,
okay.
Thank you
very much for letting me speak.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Denise. John, we're going to be closing up. So quick comment, please.
Yeah, I just.
Sorry.
I was just wondering why we never see anybody from District 9 at these meetings. They weren't at our community council meeting yesterday, and they aren't here, and they haven't been coming around. And I'm wondering if they know yet that they're representing us.
No, we do have a representative here normally, Naveed. She did send email tonight that she couldn't make it. Same for the mayor's office. I sent that email out. Martha Zapata was not at our meeting last night because we had a problem with a Zoom link that was misbehaving. Apparently, many people know that if the Zoom link doesn't quite work, sometimes the meeting ID does work. And I had my phone on Do Not Disturb, and Martha had tried to text me so that she could attend the meeting, and I didn't see her text. But we should expect to see our D9 representatives, I think, at meetings normally, John.
Yeah, I just I've noticed since
Yeah.
last year, it's, Bruce is always here and he's present for both Redwood Village and at these meetings. And I noticed it's it's just uncommon to see anybody from that office. All right, I'll keep my fingers crossed for the future.
Okay. We will too. Thanks, John.
Lynn, this is Bruce Williams. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi, Bruce. Oh, my gosh.
Yay!
Hey, Bruce.
Okay.
Awesome. Hi,
apologies.
Mr. Bruce.
Hi, I couldn't get my system to work, so please forgive me. I know it's late. I want to just leave you with my my cell phone number. So if you want to text me tonight, 619-458-1554. You can text me questions and I can try to get back to you. But I've been on for a little while. This system was working this morning at 8 o'clock. I'm not sure why it didn't come on tonight, so my apologies. A couple of things I wanted to share was I want to give a shout out about the University Avenue cleanup. I participated in a couple of those. You meet great people. They have good donuts, and it goes really fast. So if you want to participate in something good, I encourage you to do the University Avenue cleanup. Also, over at the Jacob Center on the 18th, they're going to have a cleanup. So if you want to bring stuff you want to shred, as well as stuff that you want to get rid of, you can do it at the Jacob Center. I think it's going to be from 9 to 12 this coming Saturday, on the 18th. And the only other thing is the Orchard apartment complex opened up or had its grand opening. It's right on Hilltop and Euclid Avenue. And good news is that for those of us that love Felix Restaurant down at Market Creek Plaza, it's going to come back in a smaller version there at the Orchard apartment complex. So I hope that y'all might be able to have a taste of Choice View in the days to come. That's all I have. And again, I apologize for the confusion earlier today. Thank you.
Nice to hear your voice. Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. Glad you finally, at least were able to dial in for us. Thank you. Bruce, if you have that information about the Jacobs clean, if you could forward that to this email or the EAC, I'll be happy to send that out for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'll
Appreciate it. Okay, thank you.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Anyone else?
Daryl,
Yes, Daryl.
I'm happy to finally get Bob along with Lynn. I think that's a dynamic duo, and I'm looking forward to it. I couldn't wait to get Bob on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks for volunteering, Bob. Yeah.
Yes. He was strong-armed into it, but.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Night.
A motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn by Danielle.
Thank you. Seconded by?
Alex.
I'll second.
And we're done. Thank you, everyone. That's it for